hija, hablaron de su experiencia por Argentina también y muchas cosas más. Y para darle inicio a esta hora y entrar en tema, vamos a escuchar de su propia voz la descripción de algunas de las canciones de su álbum Ray of Light. Así que aquí le damos comienzo a este Hora Prima especial con Madonna, aquí en MTV.
Goodbye is as much addressing my inability to say goodbye to people or end things that aren't good for me as it is just addressing the whole concept of letting go of anything, of walking away from it. It doesn't necessarily mean a relationship, and how hard it is, but how empowered you feel. In a way, it's sort of like taking your life back into your own hands, and it sort of comes from the concept of if you love something, let it go. The way to keep something forever is to not fear losing it. As soon as fear comes into the picture, I have to have this and I can't let it go, you've lost it. If I could your heart. I do think that the birth of my daughter was sort of a rebirth for me. It made me look at life in a completely new way, and it made me appreciate life in a way that I don't think I ever had before. Little Star is obviously about my daughter. The other song on the album that was completely inspired by her was Nothing Really Matters. The only thing that matters in life is loving people. There's a line in the song where I say nothing takes the past away like the future. I truly believe that no matter what you've done in your life, no matter how bad you perceive it to be, you can always change where you are by, looking to the future, and from that moment on, being a different person, changing. Love is a bird, she needs to fly. Let all the hurt inside of you die. The song Shanti came from, it was inspired by the Sanskrit prayers that we chant before we do yoga. And basically, in Ashtanga yoga, there's something called satsang, and you chant Sanskrit. And the idea is that even if you don't understand the words, and you just learn them by memorizing them and hearing them, that the saying of the word, the vibration that occurs in your body from saying it, actually brings a feeling of bliss and happiness. So the saying of Sanskrit is as important as the prayer that you're saying, the meaning of it. This is like a sort of artistic license that I took on two Vedic prayers from the 13th century, and then sort of I threw in a bunch of stuff too. So some shaman is rolling in his grave right now. I think I've been struggling with my mother's death, coming to terms with my mother's death all my life, and I think that sort of cropped up in a lot of my writing. And I do think that when you grow up without a mother, I think the love that you get from a mother is the love you can't get anywhere else. It's a certain kind of love. You can get love from friends and lovers and fathers and children even, but there's something so primal and basic and nurturing about it. I've always sort of carried this feeling through my whole life that I missed something incredibly important. Now, having a baby, and being able to love my daughter the way that I feel I missed out on it, obviously had a really huge effect on me. So I feel that I have to come to terms with it. And so Mer Girl is about my struggle, and not just coming to terms with my mother's death, but the idea of death. I think I'm predominantly talking about fame in drowned world, but also other substitutions for love, whatever that may be. Drugs, sex, codependent relationships, you know, shoes, jewelry, whatever. You know, fame can become a substitute for love. For a lot of people, love, approval, whatever you want to call it. But in the end, that's not what it is at all, and that song really deals with that.
Ya regresamos aquí con más de Madonna en hora prima. Ya regresamos aquí con más de Madonna en hora prima. Madonna.
I feel like I've been on a very intense journey. I've had a lot of revelations. I feel like I look at the world differently now, and Ray of Light is like kind of an expression of that.
Oh, oh,
I made a record of music that I want to listen to.
Madonna, el artista del mes en MTV.
Y luego del exceso de los 90, Madonna de cierta forma parece haberse sobresaturado de todos los frutos de su fama. Ella, según lo que cuenta, anda como en búsqueda de algo más. Y Javier Andrade habló con ella y le preguntó sobre esta búsqueda y si Ray of Light, Rayo de Luz, el último disco, significa que ella se siente hoy en día más iluminada. Veamos esto.
Ray of Light, the title and the song implies you've come across some answers in your life?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, it's just, I feel like I've been on a journey, a very intense journey. I've had a lot of revelations, and I feel like I look at the world differently now, and Ray of Light is like kind of an expression of that.
Mm-hmm. Does it have
like my place in the universe, how big the world is and how small I am in it, how important my life is, but then in the scheme of things, how small I am in the big picture, you know?
Does the yoga have
like
something
quantum physics, really.
Does the yoga have something to do with this?
Well, to a certain extent, yeah. I mean, yoga is also a sort of very inward-looking practice, and it's about being able to be still and paying attention to your breath and being happy with who you are and where you are in the moment.
You only see what your eyes want to see. How can I be what you wanted to be? You're frozen when your heart's not open.
What do you say?
Would you feel that you're doing like the sound that is on time today, or that you're kind of avant-garde by doing trip-hop music?
Well, it's music that I love. I mean, and if that happens to also coincide with what people like, then that's really good for me.
Y como vieron en el último video, Madonna siempre le ha interesado de Vita y la diferencia entre él y William Orbit. Aquí va.
La voluntad
It must be like a big switch going from working with Andrew Lloyd Webber to
William
working
Orbit,
with
yes.
William Orbit.
Yes, both English, but that's where the similarities end. Yeah, a very big difference. Yeah, I mean, Andrew Lloyd Webber is, very classically trained. He has a completely different sensibility musically. And he comes from the world of musical theater, and William's not classically trained, but he comes from, like, the techno world, and he's all about turning knobs and pushing buttons and breaking rules and unconventional sort of approaches to making music.
Y la atención que está recibiendo por parte del público, y si de alguna manera esto le preocupa o no.
I'm not really concerned about it. I mean, I want to protect her, but I don't want to shield her from life. I mean, the best protection that I can give my daughter is good karma. So.
And for you, by appearing in Vanity Fair with her, it's a way to avoid 300 paparazzis in front of your door?
Yes, more or less. I thought maybe if I sort of gave everybody a couple of pictures, they'd start chasing me around everywhere.
Oh, there's nothing that can stop them.
You never know. Maybe somebody else famous will have a baby and they'll leave me alone.
Después de esos comerciales, Madonna y Evita. Y como todos saben, MTV siguió todos los pasos de Madonna durante el rodaje de la película Evita, una producción que causó acerca de su experiencia durante la filmación de Evita.
How did you working on Evita bring you to where you are now, both as an artist and spiritually?
Well, doing the movie was a real challenge for me, creatively and emotionally, and I survived it. And when you survive things that are harrowing, you have, and they're real growing experiences. They leave a huge impression on you. So I think I ended up being a much stronger person.
Did you punish Liam Howlett from Prodigy because of what he said to the press?
How could I punish him?
No.
No, he's just being a mischievous boy, and that's all right. I didn't take it personally. They're supposed to say bad things about everyone.
Yeah.
It's part of their job.
Y bueno, ya estamos en el último segmento.
Are you planning a world tour?
Yes.
Would you include Latin America in a world tour?
If you say please.
Please. Would you include it?
Okay. All right. Okay. I've promised myself to all of South America at this point.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. I'll take it. And
but my legs are crossed.
Are you ready to go back to Argentina?
Yeah, but I gotta get a different place to stay. Yeah.
Would you be...
Could you build a new hotel between now and then?
Well, that's difficult. But, they might.
We'll talk to President Menem about it.
Okay.
Okay.
You can do it, not me, but,
He hasn't been taking my phone calls.
Este especial con Madonna, espero que la hayan pasado muy bien y que la puedan ver en Latinoamérica si es que están interesados. Mediados del 99 seguramente estará por ahí. Así que me despido de todos ustedes, nos vemos la próxima edición de Hora Prima.